This is the Buwwy Breakdown, recorded Sunday, June 12th, 2022, and today we're talking all about that Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase. Okay, hello everybody. Happy Sunday. Hopefully your week isn't too congested this upcoming week, but and you're relaxing and resting and all of that before everything goes AWOL. But today, if you didn't know, today was the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase, and I watched it live on stream with a bunch of like-minded individuals, and we were just watching and reacting to it. It was about 90 minutes, kind of like probably around 100 minutes, all said and done. And there's a lot of interesting things, not only within this showcase that I want to talk about, but also within generally the games industry as a whole, but more specifically Xbox. This gave us a look into what Xbox has coming up, as well as what Xbox is capable of and what they're not capable of. So before I want to get into anything, Avalon on the streams, on my stream, did mention when I was kind of bitching about some of this conference that it is true that they did say at the beginning of this conference that they were going to focus primarily on games that were just coming out within the next 12 months. So I should have tempered my expectations there. It was rumored there was going to be a Banjo-Kazooie, maybe some other stuff from the games that they had announced, like stuff like Hellblade 2, stuff like State of Decay, stuff like 3, Avowed, things like that, that I would have expected, honestly, to come out by the end of 2023, given that they were announced 2 years ago. But I will talk about that, and before you get all mad in the comments, I will explain my logic for that. But before we get into any of that, let's talk about this conference, and then I'll talk about how I feel about the conference as a whole, and then how it relates to Microsoft and the games industry as a whole. So before we say anything, let's start. Redfall. So we knew that since these games were being delayed, it wasn't necessarily clear. We were probably going to see gameplay because they were going to be delayed up until 2023, possibly. So we knew that was coming. So Redfall showed their gameplay, and I'll be honest, I didn't care for it. I'm not a big Arcane fan. I thought Deathloop was a bad game. I really, not a bad game, but I didn't love that game. And it seems like this game is very similar to that, but without the interesting concept of the looping and the whole thing like that. It just looks like a vampire kind of Deathloop kind of game. The combat looked fun. There was a couple of interesting things. It just didn't show me anything that made me go, whoa, this is a big giant game that I have to play the minute it comes out, and I'm super excited. We'll talk about Starfield, but Starfield did that. This didn't really do that for me. And it seems like it's one of those games that is you can play it alone or play it with friends, which whenever that's mentioned in a games showcase means you play this with friends, because playing it alone sucks. I could be wrong. All of this could be wrong. I'm just speculating on what limited 5-minute footage we have, but I didn't think it was necessarily a spectacular showing, but things change. The art style is, again, similar to Deathloop. I'm not a big fan of the Arcane art style either. It's kind of half cartoony, half kind of half not real, but it is, part of it makes it look a little cheap. It looks like they're, I don't know, maybe that's mean to say, but I don't know if anyone agrees with me, but I feel like Deathloop kind of looked like a cheap game. It clearly wasn't. It was a big game, but I don't like the art, the necessarily direction of how everything is presented in that game. But that's just me. So that's coming out in, I believe they said early 2023. I'm checking very quickly. Maybe just 2023. Okay, just 2023. They didn't give us a indication on when, but it looked fine. I'd give it like a 5 out of 10 in terms of maybe 6 out of 10 in terms of interest. It probably will interest me the more I see it, but currently it didn't necessarily interest me all too much. Then they announced Hollow Knight Silk Song is coming to Game Pass, which again is big. Hollow Knight Silk Song is probably the most anticipated indie game that's being made right now. It's giant, and I think showing that this is on Game Pass, big. I'm very excited. I mean, we'll talk about Game Pass because keep in mind, if I don't say that they're on Game Pass, all of these games that were announced are on Game Pass. So I just want to make that clear. Just put that in the back of your head. We'll talk about it later. I just don't want to mention it after everything I talk about. But this was specifically just to show that it is going to be on Game Pass, which is big. It's a big PC too, so that's fantastic. High on Life. This is a game from the creators of Rick and Morty, and Justin Roiland seems to have voiced one of the guns. It looked like at first, I'm not a big fan of, whenever I see from the creators of Rick and Morty, I go like, oh shit, this is gonna be one of those games. But it actually looked very interesting. It looked like the main gimmick was kind of like a Ratchet and Clank kind of. You have a lot of specialty weapons, but the weapons actually talk to you. They actually have personalities, and they're all look unique, and they all have unique different abilities and properties. I really liked that. That was fun, and it looks like a Rick and Morty inspired game. I mean, or a Rick and Morty kind of created game, right? It's got that it's got that style, that flair to it. And I don't know, from what I could tell, the whole concept of the game was also very interesting. It's like about this alien species who get high by using humans as the drug, and it like injects right into their brain or something. I don't know. It was really interesting, and I'm kind of like, ooh, that's a fascinating concept. That's coming out October 2022, so very soon, within the next few months. So that's gonna be something to look out for. Then they announced that Riot Games are gonna make a lot of games available to Game Pass. These include League of Legends, League of Legends, Teamfight Tactics, Legends of Runeterra, Valorant, and then League of Legends Wild Rift. I don't know what any of those are. I mean, I know what League of Legends and Valorant are, but I guess I think these games are free. That's what I heard. That's what I believe. And then, but the value of it comes with that all the legends are unlocked, all the champions, all the things that you would want to unlock are unlocked. So that's cool. I don't know how many people are going to now start playing League of Legends or Valorant who already haven't at least tried it, given that they are free games. So I don't know. We'll see. But I'm sure it'll get a decent amount of people to try out these games that maybe wouldn't have otherwise. Then they showed a Plague Tale Requiem. Honestly, nothing to show here. Nothing to say here other than it's a Plague Tale Requiem, and they showed some gameplay. Looked beautiful, looked pretty good. Coming 2022, they didn't give a release date or anything. Probably will be delayed, given that's already June and there's no release date, but whatever. It was just a Plague Tale. I don't know what to say about it other than that. If you like it, if you like it. Then they announced announced a new Forza Motorsport, but they're just calling it Forza Motorsport, so kind of like a reboot kind of thing. And throughout the trailer, they showed a gameplay demo, which was like 5 minutes, and they announced that they overhauled a lot of the physics and a lot of the graphics, and it looks better and shit. You know what the Forza stuff is by now. They made it look good. Okay, we know. I'm sorry, I'm kind of skipping through this, but this is the part of the showcase that I didn't care too much for because these aren't necessarily my type of games. But Forza, you know what it is. Then they announced Flight Simulator 40th anniversary which just looked like they were adding some helicopters and some stuff. And then they announced that they're bringing the Pelican from Halo into a Flight Simulator, which is really goofy. I really liked that. Then they said Overwatch 2 free-to-play trailer. It's Overwatch 2. I don't know what to say. They announced a new legend, which looked like Mad Maggie from Apex Legends. I don't know what her name is because I don't play Overwatch. I'm sorry. But it looked fine. It looked like Overwatch 2, man. Thumbs up. Early access for like October 4th, I think it was. So if any of you care for that, that is cool. Ara History World. History Untold. Ara History Untold. I don't know who the hell this is being made by, actually. Probably should. I don't. Who is this being made by? Oxide Games. What have Oxide Games made? I'm sorry. Maybe I don't know. Let's just quickly look. Okay, I have never heard of these guys. But they claim they are the strategy Ashes of Singularity. I don't know what that is, but okay, sorry, I went on that tangent. Our History Untold, it's basically civilization, humankind, Age of Empires. Boop, there you go. You know exactly what kind of game this is. And they didn't show any gameplay, so I don't know what is unique about this game. I hate trailers like this because they just show, especially for this genre, because they just literally show what every other trailer looks like. These games don't look any different to me. Again, I'm a casual enjoyer of some of these franchises, so maybe I'm not picking up the nuances of the differences, but I don't know. Some of these you gotta show some gameplay. You can't just tell me this is given the fact that Age of Empires just came out, Humankind is just getting a big expansion, I think, and Civ 6 just got an expansion. That's the biggest game in this genre. You know, you gotta show me how you're differentiating this. I can't. I don't know. I just don't know why I should buy this over the other ones. So that's whatever. ESO showed a High Isle trailer that's coming out like next week. Okay, we already knew about that. Same thing with Fallout Expeditions: The Pit 76. Not a big 76 fan. Haven't played it. Probably won't. That's coming out, I believe they said September. Whatever. You know if you're interested in that or not. Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels. Biggest announcement from the show for me. It's coming out July 19th. It's literally what you think it is. It's just you can race on a Hot Wheel on a orange Hot Wheel track. Thumbs up. I love this shit. It's like this and the Lego DLC from the last Forza Horizon are things that will get me into playing this game just because it's goofy and I like it. That's fun. Then they showed Arc 2. Oh, this is Arc 2. So I was confused. I didn't know if it was Arc. They didn't say Arc 2. I guess there's Arc 2. Again, this kind of shit bothers me. They announced this at like the Game Awards, I think last year or 2 years ago. I don't remember which one. But this is a CGI trailer. I know nothing about this game at all. Game trailers have to stop doing this. It's not coming out. I guess it's coming out 2023, so it's coming out soon. They just wanted to remind people of it. But show gameplay, man. Show in-engine footage. I don't want to see CGI gross Vin Diesel riding a dinosaur, okay? You showed me that in the last trailer years ago. I don't care. Sorry, I'm kind of being negative, but this is the part of the show that I didn't care for. Scorn, Doom clone. So I have to know. It's gross though. It's one of these gross Doom clones. So it's like gory and grotesque, and that's fine. But you know, it's the color palette is very bland. You know, Doom has a lot of bright reds, and that makes it feel a lot like fast paced and it just makes it feel like it has a lot of momentum. This game was drab, and it made me feel depressed and like I don't want to play this game. But it's a Doom clone. If you like Doom, maybe you like this type of game. I don't know. I don't like Doom for the demonic kind of stuff, like the satanic stuff. I like Doom for the fast-paced shooting as well as the bright I mean the demon, like the hellish atmosphere. I like the reds of the hellish atmosphere and like the moon and how that all looks. So if you like Doom for that, you probably won't like this game. Then they showed Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn. I have no clue what this game is. It looks like a third-person action game. I can't bitch because this one did show gameplay. It showed engendered gameplay and footage and stuff, so I can't really bitch too much, but it looks like kind of just a third-person action game. Set in kind of this not medieval, because it's not that, but it's set in this kind of fantasy kind of world. They showed like what looked to be kind of 1776 kind of soldiers looking like it, and like World War I bunkers. I don't know what any of this was, but it looks like just this kind of fantasy game. Okay, Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn, coming 2023. Okay, now I got the two announcements that I liked the most. Minecraft Legends, which was an action RPG, correct? I think so, yeah. An action RPG, or no, not action, an action strategy game. Most of the trailer was CGI, which again I don't care for, but they did show some gameplay for the last like quarter fifth of the trailer, and it was very fascinating. It looked really fun. I mean, you're riding on a horse. It looked very fast paced. You're commanding a lot of groups of soldiers. It looks like I didn't like Minecraft Dungeons, but it was kind of a uniquely Minecraft dungeon crawler. This looks like a similarly uniquely Minecraft action strategy game. So I'm very excited for this game. I love when Minecraft Mojang kind of reminds me of Nintendo, in the sense that, you know, Mario can be in any genre and make a unique genre-defining title out of it. For example, not genre-defining, but a unique spin on it that is different and exciting. Biggest example would be Mario plus Rabbids. I know that's technically Ubisoft, but you know, Mario is, you know, him being in that genre is very interesting. It's very fun. You know, they make that genre, whereas something like XCOM isn't as fun to me. For some reason, Mario, it's simple, but it's got a lot of depth to the combat that isn't just a lot of numbers and math and crap that I don't want to put that much work into. It's just like it's the simple to play, easy to master kind of, or not, sorry, simple, easy to play, hard to master kind of thing, which looks like this could be something like that. So I'm very happy. It's coming out on like all platforms. It's coming out like on everything. So I mean, it's Minecraft. Why wouldn't it? But it's fun and it's exciting. It brought some life back into this conference for me, because we were starting to get a lot of boring stuff. We were starting to get a lot of stuff that looked the same. Microsoft can't do pacing. This is when I started to think about it, because all these games were like this: ESO, Fallout 76, Ark 2, Scorn, Flintlock, a lot of them kind of Aura, a lot of them kind of just had similar color palettes, they didn't differentiate enough. But now we finally get into the colorful section of the show, which I adored. Again, Minecraft Legends, I loved. And then this one was honestly my surprise showcase of my surprise thumbs up of the entire showcase. Was this game called Lightyear Frontier, coming spring 2023. Now, it said early access, which I don't like. I don't like that at all. But this game looked like a Minecraft, Slime Rancher, Stardew Valley, kind of Harvest Moon, one of those games where you build civilizations from scratch, and it's kind of a robot thing. You have like this red robot moving around that you're piloting with like different guns and tools in your hands that you mine ore from, break trees, build, and the building looks interesting. You grow like wheat, they showed in the trailer, and among other crops. So it looks like this, and you know, that's not it. They showed a lot of other interest, like a store that comes in. It looks like it feels like you're this robot birthing this new civilization from nothing, that you're exploring. It feels like a kind of a Star Trek kind of, Stardew Valley Star Trek kind of thing. And the art is beautiful. The game looks gorgeous. They showed beautiful vistas and a little ocean and a big like dinosaur thing, and it was like autumn. I mean, and then they showed this little like purple kind of Horizon-esque kind of machine thing that obviously is going to lead to a larger mystery within all of this. But God, this is my favorite game of the showcase. I absolutely loved it. It's one of those games that makes me love gaming, because it's just like it's Breath of the Wild. It's just got that exploration that I miss in a lot of games. That feeling of discovering something for yourself. Which we'll get into it when I talk about Starfield, but this game seemed like a very simple version of that I cannot wait for, and I hope you all buy this game or have Game Pass so you can play with it. Titanfall, someone said here, and Titanfall combined with farming simulator, sign me the hell up. Yeah, I mean it's really like that. I mean it looks so good. It looks really fun, and I'm very excited for it. 2023. I think they said early 2023. It's like spring. Yeah, spring. So hopefully that comes out, because I'm very excited for that. Then they showed a game called Gunfire Reborn. I'll be honest, didn't watch this trailer because I was going back and rewatching the Lightyear Frontier trailer a second time. I think they said it was a roguelike, and it looked like a roguelike. Looked cool. It had kind of this cell shaded kind of art style, kind of Borderlands-esque, but more simple. Looked fine. October 2022. Not my biggest thing. Then they showed this game called The Last Case of Benedict Fox, which looked like a platformer. An interesting platformer where you explored this guy's like dad's memories, but they didn't really show. Deceased into a limbo of decaying memories is Benedict Fox, a self-proclaimed detective bound to his demon companion. Use that bond to explore the minds of recently deceased and search for clues to uncover the mysteries of an old mansion where a couple was murdered and the child has gone missing. That concept is brilliant. I love the idea of going back and exploring the memories and the minds of these deceased people on this. I love that. That's fascinating. And it looks like kind of a Metroidvania 2D platformer kind of game. So again, interests me very much. But you know, a lot of the environments looked samey. Kind of these reds and blues and kind of demonic a little more abstract. I didn't see necessarily enough of what it's going to be like to explore the minds of these people, which is what I want to see. I think there's a lot of potential with storytelling and interesting things to discuss there. That's coming out in spring 2023. Then they showed As Dusk Falls, which is, I don't care. I feel bad for I was bashing this the whole time during this. This is just a visual novel. I don't think visual novels should get this much attention at Xbox Games Showcase. I know there's a place for story games like Life is Strange or like Detroit Become Human or stuff like that. These games are not for me, and this game looked like a PowerPoint. It was basically just it was just, I don't know how to describe it. It was just like paintings of these people that moved around very jaggedly, because it'd just be like, okay, you're in one pose or one drawing, and then I'm looking stern or something, and then someone asks me a question, I'm like, huh? But there's no fluidity between it. It just cuts to the huh, or just kind of fades. It fades from the two. It's really bad. I didn't care to see it through, and I don't. Sorry. I know it's a douchebag. I know people worked hard on this game, but I don't know. I don't like visual novel games, and I think I'm kind of pretentious about them because I feel like visual novels try to be this like, oh, we're telling this so very important story, and you can only do it from this visual novel, and we're exploring these themes that have never before been explored in video. And I'm like, you don't need to be a visual novel to tell these stories. Like, look at Bioshock. Bioshock told an engaging story that had deeper context, deeper meaning, socio-political. It sparked socio-political discussions, and it was fascinating to see Rapture and all of that, and the story of Andrew Ryan and Frank Fontaine and all of that. All of that, same with Bioshock Infinite. I mean, all of this has so many themes that, you know, are way deeper than just, oh, I'm sad, or we're going through a hard time. You know, I'm just not, I don't know. Maybe I'm a dick, but all these games read the same. It's just about these like normal people that are struggling with something. Not to saying that their struggle is not real and it's not important to explore those issues, but I don't think they're not exploring them in a creative manner. Sorry, I went on a tangent about, I just don't like visual novels. I feel like they're not video games. They're kind of a different thing. Anyways, Naraka Blade Point, I don't know what this is. This looked like a Japanese game that is being localized on Xbox, which again we'll talk about, which I love. But it looked like a battle royale. It looked like one of those battle royales I'm going to try because it's free and then ditch because I'd rather just play like Apex or something. But looks cool. Looked interesting. I will give it a shot, especially since it's included Game Pass. It has a story campaign. June 23rd, so like within a week or two. So cool. Not my favorite thing, but you know, not a bad thing by any means. I'm happy it's here. I'm not like upset. Then they talked about Grounded, which is another one that pisses me off, only because it was just to announce that, oh, this game which was in preview since 2020, basically meaning, oh, you could just play this game anyways. We're finally releasing the full game in September. Okay. I don't like these games that release in a not real state and they already said 10 million people have played it. 10 million players. And you haven't even launched the game? Dude, it seems that you've launched the game. You're just adding the final content that you wanted to add. This is just a veiled way of Nintendo doing their bullshit. You know? I'm sure, like, I don't think it's released on Steam or anything. I'm sure you had to have Game Pass, but still, I don't know. I just don't like that kind of stuff. I don't like when games do that. It just makes me feel like when I play it, because I feel like now it's like, oh, the game's finally releasing in September. No, it's not. And there are so many people that have already played it and experienced it, and I think it's like this evergreen kind of multiplayer game, if I'm not mistaken. Like, it's not like an MMO or anything, but it's like there's a lot of content that already released, like expansions and stuff that people have already played and whatever. I just feel like I'm behind and I don't want to get into it. It's like the Fallout 76 thing, right? It's like this is this big open world game that people have already leveled up in, and there's some interaction with other players. Again, I don't know if that's true in Grounded. I don't know if you interact with other players that aren't your friends. But, you know, I feel like I'm already behind, and it's like the same reason I don't get into MMOs, because people have already been playing it for years, and anyways, and it's a multiplayer game, right? It's not a single player game, so it's just whatever. Aeroban Shadow Legacy, okay, it was like this stealth kind of game where you're playing as this girl who can move through walls and take down robots. Okay, looked fine, you know, it didn't necessarily interest me too much. I don't like stealth games. Stealth games are kind of old hat for me now. There's been too many of them, and unless you're like Metal Gear Solid, I don't. You know, you can innovate in that field for sure, but not necessarily my cup of tea. Then they had Pentiment, which was a Obsidian game, which was interesting because at first it again, as I said before, it's one of these visual novel games, but I mean there's a little more interactivity than just a visual novel, but I mean it's one of those games where you do read a lot of text, and you know there's not too much gameplay, quote unquote. But I wasn't interested until it said Obsidian, admittedly, but I'm still really not interested. I don't think I'll be playing this game, but it comes out in November 2022, again on Game Pass, so you know, maybe, but you know, I don't know. I'm such a douchebag, but like, you know, I don't know. I just don't like visual novels and shit. Then they announced Diablo 4, and this was painful. Listen, I'm not a Diablo player, and I have people that play Diablo in my chat, and they were talking about how much they hated this, because Diablo's kind of been wrecked a little bit, but they went on for like 6 minutes about this fucking game, and I couldn't care less. This is where the pacing started to show, because I don't know why you're showing this for like literally like 7 or 8 minutes. I was bored. But I'm not a big fan of Diablo, but the pacing in this game has to be like, you have to space out some of these announcements so it's not like, I'm bored for 30 minutes. Ooh, I'm excited for 10 minutes. Oh, I'm bored for 30 minutes. Ooh, excited for 20 minutes here. I maybe that's just me. Again, everyone's interests are unique. I'm sure plenty of people didn't find the pacing is so dependent on who's playing these games. But I think some objectively putting things like Scorn and Flintlock and Ark together is too much of the same, as well as some of these ones I'll talk about in a minute. Okay, Sea of Thieves Season 7 trailer. Okay, I'm gonna say this about Sea of Thieves. Don't dislike the video just because I say this, but if you disagree, you can dislike the video. What do I care? But okay. Oh, sorry. I picked the wrong one here. Sea of Thieves. I hate this game. On principle. I hate it. I hate it a lot. The game is fun with friends, but as Avalon in my chat said, that just doesn't say that much about the game. It says more about your friends, which I think is true. I don't know. Here's why I hate Sea of Thieves. Let me talk about it. It's one of those games that released years ago. And it's, again, one of those games that is finally now complete. You have so many of these games that were released terribly that are finally complete. Fallout 76, No Man's Sky, Sea of Thieves, Grounded, right? These games basically released years ago. Sea of Thieves actually released years ago. Not even like early development or beta or like game preview. It was a real full-on release. I hate this game because it takes shit away from Rare. Rare, I don't know if I should talk about this now or later, but when I think of Sea of Thieves, I get angry. I get viscerally angry because it's taking resources away from a studio that shouldn't be relegated to making Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves, I'm sorry if you still play it, is dead. Sea of Thieves is not that big a thing. Even though they say 30 million players, you know that is just people who logged on, played Game Pass, and just played it for like 10 minutes, like me. I played it a little bit. I probably have played it for a total of like probably 6 hours or something. I don't know. Probably more than that, and there were some fun things in it, you know, but it was weak on content, especially at first. But Rare, it just makes me mad because Sea of Thieves is kind of honestly a mid game. I mean, when you think about it, it's not that high, it's not that big, it's not that exciting, because they're just finally adding content that we've wanted for since the beginning. And Rare used to be this studio that was one of the greatest studios to ever exist. Rare made Donkey Kong Country. They made Perfect Dark. They made Banjo-Kazooie. They made Conker. They made Donkey Kong or Diddy Kong Racing. They made all these games that are beloved and totally fucking okay. Wait, yeah. Killer Instinct, GoldenEye 007. Those are a few others. Sorry, I had to look up the Battletoads, the other things. This used to be a game studio that was legendary. That was absolutely legendary. But Now they're relegated to making games that never come out. Everwild, which is supposed to have come out, or I feel like should have come out. It was announced 3 years ago. Hasn't even shown any gameplay yet. Or even another trailer. We haven't seen it at all. And I love Rare, and I miss them. I miss them doing games that people want to see. I know I'm old hat right now, but make a Banjo. Make a game, or bring out Everlong. I mean, that looks like a decent Rare game that may have been made 20 years ago. I mean, Rare needs to get back to the Rare that used to be. Not saying that they have to go back and make those games again, but they have to make games like that felt like they were, that were these games that were defining, genre-defining titles. Sea of Thieves is just some multiplayer fucking pirate game. It's just whatever. I don't know. Okay. Ravenlock. This was a game that also, similar to the Lightyear one, caught my attention and is one I'm very excited for. It's literally an Alice Through the Looking Glass type of game where this girl goes into the farmhouse and goes into a window, or not a window, a mirror, and it's from the creators of Echo Generation, and it's kind of blocky, which I love that aesthetic, and it's very colorful, and it kind of looks like, it's kind of got Elden Ring kind of vibes in the sense of some of these creatures. I mean, some of these creatures are gorgeous looking, and they're weird, and there's like what is it? Where I'm trying to find it, but there's like mushroom people, and like I thought I saw like these walking things with hands on their eyes, or eyes in their hands and shit. I don't remember, maybe not, but it looked like an interesting game. I don't necessarily know what kind of game it is. It looks like a third-person action game. There's skill trees, which I absolutely love. And it looks like there's a lot of upgradability. It just looks like a nice, fun indie game. Cool. 2023, getting Game Pass. Wolong, Fallen Dynasty. This is the kind of trailers I hate. It's made by Koei Tecmo and Team Ninja in association with Xbox. I think Xbox is partnering with them. I didn't get anything from this. CGI trailers like this bother me because I know this game isn't coming out for a while. Oh wait, never mind. It's coming out early 2023. Okay, why didn't you show gameplay? See, that's the thing. These CGI trailers do nothing for me. I barely even got the story. The fact that it's coming out early 2023 and didn't show any gameplay is concerning. More trailers need to show gameplay, and I'll talk about what examples that is next. Then they announced Persona coming. This was literally the announcement that I actually like did my screaming for. Like, I went nuts for. Todd is like, or not Todd, Phil Spencer went up there and is like, hey guys, we're partnering with Atlas. And I'm like, Atlas? Wait a minute. They make Persona, and I like Persona. And at first I'm like, I hope it's not Shin Megami Tensei, because they showed the little thing. I'm like, oh, is it Shin Megami Tensei? I hope it's Persona. And then they blow my mind and show us fucking gameplay of Persona 3 Portable. And I about lost it. And then I'm like, dude, okay, you got Persona 3 Portable, but there's no way they're bringing Persona 4, right? Persona 4, that's it's only on Steam, dude. Atlas would put it on PlayStation before they put it on fucking Xbox. Oh no, it's Persona 4 Golden. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's great. Then I'm like, okay, well, if they're showing Persona 4, there's no way Persona 5 Royal's coming out. There's no way. Why would they put... Dude, Persona 5 Royal. And then they said all three of these games are coming to Game Pass, with Persona 5 Royal coming first on October 21st. This is perfect. This is honestly the best announcement for gaming. Simply because more people will play these games. More people need to experience Persona that wouldn't have otherwise. And given that a lot of people in Game Pass that would probably try out some of these Japanese games that they wouldn't otherwise, which is something I love about Game Pass, and they need to do more. And Phil was talking about that. Phil was like, we need to bring more we're bringing more Japanese franchises into the West through Game Pass, and that is great because most of the time, even though things like Ace Attorney or even Persona, unless you're like a Final Fantasy, you don't get that much Fire Emblem is another one. You don't get enough mainstream success because you're making people who are interested in that game usually are kind of diehard in the sense that they're going to buy the game. And it's harder to talk people that wouldn't usually play that game into buying that game, that aren't into these anime games, these Japanese games, JRPGs, strategy games, what have you. And Game Pass is a great way to introduce people, Western audiences, to games that everyone who's played Persona 5 enjoys it. I don't think there's a single soul who hasn't played Persona 5 who doesn't adore that game. So I think the more people that play it, the better. Persona 4 Golden. So that's why I love Persona 5 coming. Persona 4 Golden, I love it coming because the only way you can play it really is Steam. And for somebody who doesn't like playing these types of games on PC, I like having them on a TV or having them on a mobile, which is great. These are going to be able to be streamed. Being able to stream Persona 4 Golden and Persona 5 on xCloud is huge, and I'm very excited for that. So I'm excited that Persona 4 is finally getting a console release and not just PC. And then they announced Persona 3, obviously, I said that before. And this is great because you can't play Persona 3 literally on anything. Unless you emulate it. I think it was for the PSP, correct? The PlayStation Portable. It is very difficult to get your hands on that. So I'm very excited because I've never played this game and I really want to because I love Persona 4 and I love Persona 5. So I want to play this game. And I finally will be able to get this game. And it's fascinating that they didn't put these on PlayStation. I don't know if they're going to announce that they're coming to PlayStation like later, like Persona 4 Golden and 3 Portable. But I adore that they did this. I absolutely love it. This is my favorite announcement from the showcase, simply because of what it means for Xbox and that they're getting into more Japanese franchises and more people will get to experience these games that are, as I said before, Persona 5, you could call it a visual novel because, there's a lot of reading and dialogue skipping, but it's a JRPG, right? There is gameplay, and Persona 5 is the quintessential JRPG for people who don't like JRPGs. Example, Donkey loved the game, and he hates JRPGs, so there's something there. But, this is the game that also explores deeper themes that aren't just, I'm depressed. It showcases a lot of discussion about yourself and your inner, your who you are as a condensed into this palace. I love that kind of shit. Okay, anyways. Enough talking about games that are like literally, how old is Persona 3? Probably at this point it's got to be 15 years old, right? Maybe 20, I don't even know. No way, it's 20 years old. Hold on. Persona 3 Portable. It's great. It's great that Persona 3 Portable is fucking coming. I'm so excited about that. Let me like the tweet quick. 2009 in Japan, it says. I don't know when in America. Oh, there. July 6, 2010. So 12 years old in America. God, that is so great. I'm so happy these are coming out. Too bad it's not coming out on Switch, but whatever. I love some of these tweets. Y'all finally learned that fucking porting Persona would make you money. You did it, you crazy son of a bitch. You did it. I love it. Oh man, that's funny. I will sell my nutsack if another mainline Persona game isn't ported to PC or Switch before Xbox. Okay, sorry. Okay, and then finally, okay, I don't know if they announced this earlier, but I didn't know that Hideo Kojima was making a game for Xbox. which was crazy to me. That is great. I'm very excited. But he already announced that they're making Death Stranding 2, so it's not like they're bringing Kojima to make, to do something nothing unique. But I mean, Kojima says it's a never before seen concept and will be a challenge for him to make. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see that. Okay. Then they finished with Death Stranding, or not Death Stranding, Starfield. And they showed like 15 minutes of content. Most of that being, a lot of that being actual gameplay. And the gameplay looked really, 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 really good. It's basically a lot of people will say this, but I mean, it's Fallout in space, right? I mean, you know what to expect. But it looked like that, and it looked really exciting, and it didn't get necessarily that exciting until they showcased all of these planets and these unique civilizations that seem to live in them, and how you interact with a lot of these people. And they showed the character creation. They showed that these skills are very fun. I really hold on, let me get into here. These skill trees, they have like different, like the physical, social, combat, science, and tech, and within all of these they have different like skills, and within those skills, so you can purchase those skills, and then you can rank up those skills. Awesome. By completing challenges. That's what Todd said. So that is fun as shit. Very excited for that. I love stuff where there's a lot of good. It's kind of like Skyrim. I love the stuff where the progression like that. And it seems like you can get some unique builds and stuff in there. And then they said, oh, you can build these different civilizations. Looked like you could. It looked like, you can build these different little outposts, and they looked really cool. And then Todd's like, oh, you can build a starship. Not only that, but you choose who's on your crew. Not only that, but you can actually fly the starship and fight in the starship. And then then they showed a lot of gameplay from that looked fine. And then Todd said, okay, you want to see the fucking planets? Okay, let's look at the fucking planets. So you can land anywhere on any of these planets in the solar system. You can land anywhere on them. You can land in the civilization, or you can land literally wherever you want. And then they go out to the galaxy, and they're like, oh, and within this galaxy, yeah, any planet you want, you can just fucking land anywhere on any of those planets. And he's like, oh, well, you're probably thinking, oh, galaxy, oh, there's literally 100 that you can just go to. You can just go to 100 galaxies, each with their own group of planets, in which you can land anywhere on the entire planet. Holy God. That gave me goosebumps when I heard him say that. Of course, I don't know what that means. Obviously they didn't make 100 unique solar systems, I don't think. There's obviously some generation probably going on, or something that's gonna show some cracks. I don't know, but I don't know how you make 100 solar systems. But I mean, hey, maybe you do. But it looked really good. It looked really good. It's rare that one of these gameplay things, after you've promised so much, and hyped it up so much, that they actually deliver on this gameplay, and they did. I'm very excited to see this game. And Bethesda Game Studios is one of those game studios that is very well loved and well received, and will most likely create a spectacular game. So I'm very excited for all of that. That is an exciting thing. Okay. So that ended the conference, and going back on it, I'd actually say it's probably higher just because that Starfield. I really liked that Starfield gameplay. It looked really damn good. It looked exciting. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, it was really exciting. So I'd say Initially, I said I would give it a 6 out of 10. And I would probably give it a 4 out of 10 if it weren't for Game Pass. Because anytime you talk about a Microsoft Games Conference, you always have to add like 1 or 2 points to it simply because of Game Pass, in my opinion. Because all of these games are coming on Game Pass, and that's what makes a lot of this exciting. However, in terms of game announcements, now again, they did say, okay, we're gonna show games in the next year, so temper your expectations. But of the games they did show, I don't think anything was necessarily that spectacular. There was a lot of good stuff. There was a lot of mess stuff. There wasn't necessarily anything garbage. Nothing like really too bad. Nothing that people would say, I hate this. But I forgot a game called Cocoon. I didn't watch this because I was watching Ravenlock again, but this game looked cute. It looked like a third person kind of from camera on top angle, kind of goofy, kind of puzzle game. Cute. It looked fine. But anyways, okay, let me let me finish. It's from Annapurna, whatever the studio is. Annapurna, whatever. 12 Minutes creators. Okay. Yeah, the game showcase was good. I'd say, again, I just don't think any of these things blew me away. But I guess I shouldn't have expected anything to really necessarily blow me away. I mean, again, no really new games from Xbox Game Studios. A lot of the new games were indie games, which I'm glad they showed indie games. And someone said on the stream a very smart comment. These games, the most exciting games were the games from indie developers. Lightyear Frontier, Minecraft Legends isn't one, but Ravenlock, the one I talked about, Cocoon. Some of these games were the most interesting from these indie studios. And, a lot of the games that came from Xbox Game Studios were either expected or kind of just, that's what, you didn't blow me away. Redfall didn't blow me away. Flight Simulator, Forza didn't blow me away. Specifically Forza. Starfield, I wouldn't say blew me away, but it made me more excited. So it did its job. Grounded didn't blow me away. I'm trying to think of other ones. Looking at the thing right now, these games, just Fallout 76 didn't blow me away. The Pit, I don't know. It's interesting, and I was talking about this on stream, but I want to mention it here. I think Xbox has an issue, and the games industry as a whole has an issue, and I don't know if it's getting fixed. I think it is getting fixed because a lot of these, Nintendo figured this out a while ago. In these showcases, you kind of want to set the precedent that you're only going to talk about games that are releasing soon. That are releasing within a year is usually the standard. So when you have these games that are, Microsoft screwed up on the 2020 Xbox Showcase because I actually went back to look at it, the Xbox 2020 Showcase, and they announced 5 games in that were big new announcements, big giant new announcements. Sorry, I'm looking for it. It's not Game Pass. Big giant new announcements, but haven't been announced, haven't been at all shown off since then. State of Decay 3, Everwild, Forza Motorsport, you can also kind of count on that. Everwild. Okay, sorry. State of Decay. Well, we saw it. Okay, State of Decay 3, Everwild, Avowed, from Obsidian, Hellblade 2, and Fable. Those are 5 games. Hellblade 2, we saw it at the Game Awards, but other than that, not at all. Those 5 games have yet to release, but they were announced 2 years ago. And we have not even seen a trailer saying 2023 on them. or any gameplay, or even anything since. And actually, Everwild was announced in 2019, so it's been even longer since for that one. But I used to be, and I remembered when there was a time like this, that you could expect a game from announced to release to be at most 4 years. In most cases, 2 or 3. It's from announced to release. Now it seems that is getting longer and longer, and there's a detriment to that because people expect to see these games. I expected to see Redfall and Starfield, but I also expected to see Hellblade because that was shown at the Game Awards with pretty decent game, looked like it was getting almost finalized. It looked like it would have been coming out within the next year. At this point, by the end of at least 2023, I expected to see Everwild because it's literally been 3 years since we've seen that game. I expected to see some other stuff that I can't remember, but you know what I mean. Like there are these games that they're just not showing anything. It just sucks. It sucks for that because I just feel like why announce it then? Game companies are just doing this thing where they announce it too much. Nintendo figured it out. Nintendo, other than Breath of the Wild 2, which I'm sure they had all intention of releasing. I think they announced in 2018 or 19, and I'm sure they had all intention of releasing at least by 2021. But then COVID, and then now we don't know when it's coming out. But these games they just take too long. It just bothers me. I'm not trying to be like an impatient little bastard, but I don't announce these games. Don't announce these games if you don't want us to talk about them and don't want us to think about them and what your studios are up to. Don't tell us that information. Just leave it. But I don't know. That's the thing. I think the Game Pass stuff saves a lot of what Xbox does, and without Game Pass, this definitely would have been a lesser event. In terms of the future of this stuff, Phil Spencer did show an interesting graphic, which I really liked. He showed this graphic that showed, I have it right here, that showed these games coming out. And that they're all on Game Pass, except I guess Overwatch 2 isn't, but that's free to play, so who cares? All these games that are coming on Game Pass within the next few years. Some of these aren't on Game Pass that they have on the chart, which is kind of weird. Callisto Protocol, Resident Evil 4, Dead Space. It makes sense they aren't on Game Pass. I'm not saying they should be. I'm just saying, why put them on the chart? But it's a great graphic because it shows us, wow, there is a lot of stuff on Game Pass that I would want to play, and if you play, it's 3 AAA games a year. If you play 3 AAA games a year that come out on Game Pass, plus any indie games, anything you just try, Game Pass is worth it for you. And looking at here, at least up until the end of 2023, I'm getting my money's worth out of that. Slime Rancher 2, I'm going to play. Atomic Heart, I'm going to play. High on Life, I'm going to play. Starfield, I'm going to play. Redfall, I'm going to play. I'll try out Forza Stalker 2, I'm going to play. Uden Chronicles, I'm going to play. All these games that are coming out that are on Game Pass is a great way to get people to get into it. It's definitely a good deal, and that's not including any other games that may come out in 2023 that we haven't heard of. By the end of 2023. So within the next 12 months, you're definitely probably most likely going to get your money's worth out of Game Pass. Like PlayStation 3 Persona 3 Portable, not PlayStation 3, Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden. All these games. It's exciting. It's really exciting, and I like Game Pass a lot. And that's just the games they showed in here. There's plenty of other games that'll come out on Game Pass. They just put Assassin's Creed Origins on Game Pass. They put games all the time on Game Pass. So yeah. Anyways, that's my thoughts on the. We're about an hour in. that's my thoughts on the Xbox Games Showcase. I think it was fine. I think it was not necessarily the greatest thing ever by any means, but it wasn't it. If you tempered your expectations, it really wasn't that bad at all. But anyways, I don't want to say too much. I'm kind of already losing my brain talking about this for so long, given both the the live stream and the this as you could tell. But yeah, in terms of the next thing, is Nintendo doing a direct? I think so. I honestly think Nintendo was probably waiting for this Xbox thing to happen before they said anything. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. But I would, if I would venture to guess, I think Nintendo is gonna do direct. I mean, they have to. So I'm gonna talk about Nintendo for a little minute, but game. If you look up Nintendo games releasing in 2022 for the rest of the year, I know I've said this. I think I've said this on here before, but I say it all the time on stream. You look at the release schedule for Nintendo, it's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. For the end of the year. So we have Mario Strikers Battle League, which just came out. Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. Small game, not going to sell too much. So it's not like one of those big games. Xenoblade 3 in July. Okay, again, Xenoblade is a big franchise now. It's I think it's a million seller for sure. Splatoon 3 comes out in September. Okay, yeah. And then Pokemon, which I don't necessarily count, comes out in November. And then Bayonetta 3 still says it's coming out in 2022, but I doubt it. I don't think it's gonna. So their release schedule is puny. Remember when they used to have a game a month? That not anymore. Not anymore. They have a game, not even big games, but they have a game about every 2 months. And no big holiday game other than a Pokemon, but Pokemon always comes out in November. Nintendo needs their own holiday game, like a Mario or a Zelda or a Metroid or something that comes out in that October-November period that they still need to announce. And I don't know what that is. And they need it. They need an announcement on some of these things, because literally there is, okay, 1, 2, 3, I'm not counting Pokemon in any of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 games we know of. And that takes us to spring of 2023. 5 games from Nintendo, the Nintendo. 5 games. It's just shocking. It's shocking. I don't know how they don't have any games coming out. Like none. Like absolutely no games coming out this year. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. Anyways, I'm sorry for that tangent, but I mean yeah. Like last year they had Metro Dread and Mario Party Superstars. I'm not saying that was brilliant, but hey, that was something, man. There you go. 2020 they had Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Again, not necessarily anything great. Pikmin 3 Deluxe, not anything great for the holiday season, but at least they had something. 2019 Luigi's Mansion 3 on Halloween, and then Mario and Sonic the Olympic Games doesn't count. Link's Awakening Switch September 20th. So I mean, we don't have any of those games. 2018 was that timeline. Smash. Fuck, I forgot. Smash came out in 2018. Giant. 2017. Don't even get me started. Super Mario Odyssey. There you go. That was their big event. Their big game. They don't have a big game unless they're counting on Bayonetta 3 to be that big game. So we'll see. But fuck, I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I don't like that they're doing nothing. It bothers me. Okay. Anyway, sorry for going on this big tangent about Nintendo, but we're talking about Xbox in this. Yeah, it was fine. It was fine. It was good. It was not worth the hype, but again, not worth. And it was fine. It was fine. It was mid. It was perfectly okay. And I'm happy that we had it. But from all intents and purposes, guys, I think E3's dead. I think E3's dead only because game development is crazy. It's nuts. Like, game development is getting more and more complicated and crazy stuff. So, hey man, it's hard to do these showcases. Really is, because you have to funnel everything into this one thing, and it's difficult. So I don't know. We'll see, but that's what we're going with, man. That's the angle. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like this video. Definitely subscribe if you want to. I don't know. I talk about this stuff all the time. And I will be back sometime whenever maybe a Nintendo Direct will come out, talk about it, maybe more news. I always like to talk about gaming stuff. It's just fun. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Godspeed, man. And make the most of it. Whatever you're doing makes it that much better. I don't know. Goodbye.